Okay, we are live, guys. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And happy late Thanksgiving and early Merry Christmas.
That's right.
Oh, it's that time already.
It's that time.
It is that time. Somebody posted this morning on LinkedIn. Who was that? That posted. Did you start your Christmas at Thanksgiving, or do you start it, Halloween? And I replied that I started at Halloween as soon as I could. I'm one of those people.
She is.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share some slides with you guys because we are here today to throw down some value. And where our presentation today is called From LinkedIn Loner to Master Attractor. And I think we're going to go ahead and start with some introductions. So we'll go ahead and get started on this end. Let me move that banner here. All right. Hello, everybody again. I'm Tanya Eberhardt.
And I'm Michael Carr.
And I'm going to tell you just a tiny bit about my story and how we got started. And then we're going to introduce you to the infamous Mike after we tell who we are. So we are the founders of BrandFace, and we started BrandFace about 11 years ago now. My story is that I came from the media world. So I started in the radio world and then did a lot of work in newspaper and television as well. But when I first hit the radio world, I was literally getting doors slammed in my face left and right. And I realized then that I was so young. I was 21, 22 years old in Tallahassee, Florida. I was just trying to go to school. So I'm a Knowles fan and an alumni, by the way. And so I was working in the media world, knocking on the doors of business owners who were spending tens of thousands of dollars every month, even back in 1988. Don't calculate the age. 1988. I was getting doors slammed in my face, and I thought, if I want to change the way that people view me, I have to change the way I present myself. So I started to do that. I became one of the first people in the radio industry to have my own website as a radio sales representative, which was a lot of fun. Then I realized, holy cow, this is working for me. I'm actually getting indoors, and people were taking me seriously because of the approach that I was taking. And so I thought, well, I'm going to bring my own clients into the studio and try this and get them to shoot their own TV commercials, radio commercials, do photo shoots for their newspaper ads, those kind of things. So I started doing that, and it changed so much for the clients. And so that stream of personal branding, that thread that went all throughout my career, is actually what brought us to 2012-13 when BrandFace was born. And so that's my story. And I'm going to hand it to Michael here to fill you in with his, because about the time BrandFace was launched is when I met this gentleman.
Yes, I am an auctioneer by trade. I sold mostly cars and real estate, and opened up my own brokerage in 2000, mainly just to do my own investments to save commissions, that sort of thing. But because of my auctioneer background, when the mortgage debacle hit in the United States, started about 2007 and 8, and then crashed hard 9 and 10. Those of you who've been around long enough to remember that. I teamed up with a company out of Irvine, California, and we went after the Bear Stearns residential portfolio. We got it. We auctioned off about 3/4 of that portfolio, totaling somewhere around 150, 160,000 residential units. I was personally responsible for well over 100,000 of those. Had offices all over the United States. I came back, good auctioneers always working themselves out of a job. So we did that. Hallelujah. I had investments in Atlanta, Georgia, that I wanted to come back to par, and came back to my small hometown, started buying some real estate. Met with a lady who talked me into opening a real estate brokerage with arm's length transaction brokerages, that sort of thing. That required marketing. And I always prided myself as a marketer. I was senior vice president of that company. We were spending somewhere around $5 million, in some years $20 million in marketing and a year. And so I thought I knew what I was talking about. The first thing that my partner said was, your marketing stinks and you need to talk to my niece. Enters Tanya into my life. She sold me marketing for a real estate company. She taught me branding. And we're going to talk about that today and how that really transformed my company from its inception and it caused it to explode in growth. And we have spent the last 11 years helping real estate agents, coaches, speakers, authors, content creators, consultants, veterinarians, doctors, dentists, anybody that is a forward-facing person that has a service to sell. We've been teaching them the importance of personal branding and transforming lives all over. So then we were lucky enough, if it's okay if I do this
Absolutely.
segue, to meet this gentleman here, the man of the hour, the tower of power, the rage of his age, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Asherbranner. And I'll hand it over to him.
Oh, wait, Mike, your audio.
I know it.
There you go. You're good now. You're good now.
You know, I should do this more often. Hey, thank you for that Apollo Creed style introduction, Michael. Wow. Wow. All right, the king of sting. All right. So again, if you don't know me, I'm Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Financial Coach. And my story, really, like most of us out there, guys, you could probably relate to it, really happened at COVID, right? They told me at 39 years old during COVID that I couldn't go out and play anymore. And I was like, well, that's my business, is people, right? Meeting people, going out there, meeting people and seeing them and being one-on-one and nurturing those relationships. And so they said, hey, you got to go on social. So I did what a lot of us do, right? 30s, and up. I went out and pitch slapped with a P, pitch slapped and just bothered people in their DMs, right? And so that's all I knew. And I knew a guy that could do it well. So I was like, well, he could do it well. I must stink, right? And so a year and a half of that, I didn't know what else to do. And I just kept hearing pieces of information and putting things together that didn't fit. So long story short, I realized that, hey, if I would just focus, what if I just focus, and as an experiment, if I just focused on loving other people, helping them out, bringing them value, creating and nurturing those relationships, what would happen? Because I know what's happening now, which is nothing, right? I was going to crush tin cans if I couldn't figure something out. So what happened is that I became, a friend. I started learning LinkedIn. I started teaching people just to make friends, gathering them up. And the amazing thing happened. Lots of professionals were drawn to that. They all wanted to collaborate and work with one another. And it just becomes special. And so what this is about and what I do today was, someone said, wow, you really hit the good recipe. You made a lot of cookies here. These are great. What's your recipe? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just throwing things in a bowl, right? Like most of us do. We're just putting random advice together. And so I had to reverse engineer that cookie. And this is what I do today, is to help other people, have fun, be connected, and have fun and just be yourself. Attract people, and none of that pitch slapping and all that. And that's why I'm honored to be here. Thank you for spending your time with us. I just love helping people, and this is our way to give back. I appreciate you all. Oh, hey, and by the way, what, your marketing stinks. That I got to tell the folks, they showed up for this. All right. I had a buddy of mine tell me, almost 2 years ago, he says, your profile stinks and you're wearing a suit. Why? Because he knew me. He said, oh, you're a pink neck, redneck. He said, you should let that out. And I said, you're crazy. He says, is what you're doing now working for you? Oh, heck no, it ain't doing anything. He said, what do you got to lose? And that's what, so yeah, be thankful for people who tell us the truth, because it could change your life. Sorry, go ahead.
Amen.
And that was the beginning, right?
That was it. And he gets awesome. The credit or the blame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, here's what we're going to talk about today, guys. We're going to go through and talk about, first of all, why you're on LinkedIn. And by the way, it is broadcasting on LinkedIn. For those of you, I've received a few messages saying it wasn't working. It is working on my end. I'm seeing it here, so I'm hoping you guys are too. They're saying they just refreshed, so it's all good. Yep, it's broadcasting there. All right, you give me a heart attack, people. All right, so we're going to talk about why you're on LinkedIn, why we're all here, right? What's happening on LinkedIn right now, 5 things you need to do, and how you can get started. And I want to give you a heads up right now, stay until the end, because we are extending a Cyber Week special that I know here at Brandface we have never done before. Okay. So stay tuned to the end. And we have partnered with Mike in doing this. So there's just a little tip of the hat, guys. So stay tuned. All right. So I'm going to tackle this one first, and then I'm going to hand it to the mics. I'm going to hand the mic to the mics.
You're on the mic with Mike.
Why are we on LinkedIn? Okay. I think we should each one of us answer this, but from my perspective, I think we're here to create profitable connections, right? So otherwise, if we're just here to hang out with people, we can just go to the neighborhood bar and drink some beer while we're doing that, right?
Right.
Like I don't want to just hang out. I want to hang out and help connect people with other people that are going to help them grow. And I want to be connected to other people that are going to help them grow. And I think for me, that's really what it's all about. But go ahead, Michael.
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, but I am the first one to, if any of you are just getting started on LinkedIn, you should consider me the same way. Okay. I'm lucky enough to be with the experts here. But I and my staff at the real estate company will definitely be putting these same principles to work that we're going to talk about here today. We've already gotten a good start on that. But just like many of you already feel like you've done, maybe you've built out another platform. We were big on other social media platforms and knowing that we were getting to LinkedIn. And as these things tend to happen, and we hope it happened for y'all, Michael Asherbrenner came into our lives just at the right moment and really helped us to transform the way we look at this. And hopefully we'll do the same for you guys today.
Okay. The question came in, who has the biggest country accent? Mike Carr or Mike Asherbrenner? Hey, give us your vote, guys. Give us your vote as we go. Is it the MA or the MC?
It's Michael Carr. Oh, and by the way, the folks who are having trouble with LinkedIn, for some reason, it's just a StreamYard issue. You have 2 events posted. So if you go to Tanya's profile on LinkedIn, Tanya Eberhardt, you'll see that the very last event is the one that's airing right now. I did check that. So go check the other events, click the events tabs, you'll see it. Or you can go to her profile and just open it. It'll open right there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us know, guys. I appreciate that. Okay, so the votes are coming in. So far, it's MC. So far. All right. All right, Mike Asherbrenner, why are you on LinkedIn?
You know, I'm on LinkedIn to make friends and help people and value. I mean, that's it. You know, there's only a few components. It's know, like, and trust, one half of a circle. And then it's I bring the best value for that person or bring the best solution that they need and they're searching for. And if you can master those 2, what else is left? A circle's a circle, right? And so that's what I discovered. And so what I see currently happening on LinkedIn itself and other people, and just in general with business and things, it's real simple. There's a lot of people doing the same thing, right? And so it's really difficult and to stand out. And when I say stand out, I don't mean just to stand out to get attention. Don't put on a clown outfit just to do it, but to show up as yourself, because most of us, all of us are unique, right? And so it's just tapping into what that uniqueness is, which is what you helped me do, Tanya. And then go out there and communicate in a way that attracts other people that you're trying to, to work with or to get to know. And so again, for me, it was going out there and just building relationships and giving value. Even if that value meant nothing to do with me, it was still valuable to that person, right? And we all know that's how people work. So when we think of algorithms or anything else, we always got to remember there's people behind those things. Without all these technology and all this, without people, it means nothing. So we never let go of those kindergarten skills. You hear me talking about sharing your crayons, and that's the intention behind it. Does that make sense? So a couple things that's what's happening now is again, the algorithms and things change. What's popular and what works today doesn't, and it's there's a lot of changes going on daily, by the minute, so we can never get ahead of it, but we learn the principles and how to dance with it. So again, people, the biggest thing that was affecting me and folks that I see today, and probably people watching this, Tanya, is when we pick out different advice, because we see blogs and we see all these different mixed advice, and the question is that for me, right? Because there's a big difference if you're trying to create like more of an influencer status, when you're trying to get like maybe your organization viewed, so people, but it's a different thing when you're a service-based business or professional consultant, guide, or expert, when you're trying to build those relationships with people, because you have to. So it's not that one thing's better than the other. It's just hey, if I have something to go out there and do value, I get paid to bring value and change that person's life. And that requires business stuff. So it's great to get impressions, but you have to make sure that your voice and your business stuff and all these things are in order for the visibility on social media to work well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, to transition, is how do we find and nurture and what's some guidepost, right? What's some strategic, you know, trails, if you will, for us to just know, well, hey, this is what I can do daily. And if I do it daily and
Mhm.
consistently, I can make it happen. And that's what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And actually, you came here for some practical advice, and we're going to give it to you. We're going to teach you both how we utilize LinkedIn to create quality connections that turn into clients. Because in the end, at the end of the day, it is like Mike says, it's about helping people. What do we help you do on LinkedIn? We help you connect with people who can help you grow your business. In the end, is turning those quality connections into clients.
And I'd like to add to that, because the technicalities of what we're going to talk about today, these two guys are going to teach you. Okay. What I'm here to do is to be the cheerleader back here to say, look, commit, do it. You know, Maya Angelou's one of my favorite quotes of hers is, when people know better, they do better. I hope you guys know better at the end of this and then do better. And to Michael's point, find that path and stick to it, because that is going to be the winner. You'll get the information you need today to succeed. I encourage you to commit to it after you hear it.
I love that, cheerleader. All right. So Scott Raven, I got to hand this to you. You asked for an auctioneer sample from Michael. You stay tuned till the end. I'm going to make him do it. Hang tight. It's awesome. Okay. All right. So let's start with tip number 1. Okay. This is not going to surprise you guys coming from personal branding folks, right? Show up different, because as you've no doubt noticed, there are so many people. I just got off the phone with a guy named Paul, super cool guy. And we met on LinkedIn. He said, Tanya, I really loved your approach. He said, you wouldn't believe it. All the people that DM me and say, hey, let's connect. And the moment you connect, it's like, here comes the sales pitch, right? The pitch slap, as Mike says, here it comes. And it was so nice to hear from him that we did it differently, right? Personal branding, guys, is the only way to do it differently, because that's how you show up in the world, right? So you want to be intentional and step out of that sea of sameness, as we call it. You don't want to look like everybody else. And you sure don't want to pitch like everybody else. So what I want to do now is kind of show you guys an example of what we mean by this. Let me pull right here. This is the example. What I'm talking about here is when we first met Mike. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I thought, oh gosh, this guy is really different. And how can we amplify that and make it really stand out? And what that is a snapshot of Mike's profile. And he's different. And as a result of that, I'll let him tell you how that goes for him. But I'm going to back up just for 1 second and tell you the way you do this. I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of this today. All we're going to do is really talk about building your brand in a very profitable way. As we like to say, anybody can build a pretty brand, but a brand is much more than a logo, a photo, and a tagline. A brand is really an entire ecosystem of how you present yourself to the world. And 98% of people meet your brand before they meet you. Think about that in today's digitized world. So we actually created the formula for building a personal brand. And it's a super simple 3-step formula: define, develop, and display. Define your ideal customers, your point of differentiation, your position. Develop all the parts and pieces to help you get that message and image out to the world, and display it correctly and consistently, literally everywhere. That's it. I'm not going to go deeper into that. We can talk about that a little bit more later. But Mike, I really want you to touch on this, because when we went through building your brand, I'd like to know a little bit about what you experienced, and be nice.
Oh, of course. So I got to go find it. So I went on one of the websites back in the day when I put my hat on and let myself out. And it was 2 guys in overalls with straw hats talking. And in pink, my buddy put redneck financial coach. That was my branding for quite a while, right? Maybe about a year, I think. But when I met you guys, I just didn't understand, because we all, in business school and other things, we're taught about marketing. It's all marketing, marketing, marketing. And brand is a pretty logo or a nice website. What was missing for me was tying it all together. So people went, oh, this is the 1 or 2 things that this guy does, right? And we want people to do that. So we're attracting and in some degree repelling, right? So we're attracting the people that say, you know what? That resonates with me. And not everybody will, but it's just a great way to, it's like having a marketing without a good brand is like having a great Ferrari with a Pinto steering column on it. That's how I feel about it. Like, or a flat tire, right? It's almost there, but dadgummit, you need to be able to function. You need all four tires. And so it's just a great way to not tie a boat anchor to yourself when you're running your race. When you're trying to succeed, it really takes the load off because people are already familiar with what you do, who you are, and a tiny bit of your persona. And it just makes people either say yes or no. And it really helps you determine your time, right? Who you spend your time with and what they want. So it really makes it a lot easier. It's been a real much easier and more enjoyable ride since my branding was vamped and made sense. And so that's why I'm so excited about this.
And don't you find, Mike, that your numbers are discernible now? Right. I did when we built up my brand. I was one of those people that just thought you threw your marketing money against the wall and hope that it stuck. Spend 100%, only 50% of it works. We don't know. I found that once the brand was built and the ecosystem started, we know exactly where our numbers are now. Like we have return on investment for every dollar that we spend or every minute that we spend in getting that brand out there. Another plus to building it, because then you're going to have the same consistent message and there's no confusion. Did this one work? Did that one work? Did this one work? It's just, did that platform work? Did that platform work?
Yeah, and knowing that it's working, right? Even if it didn't work today or I didn't get what I thought today, it works. If you do daily and here's the fun part. This is what I didn't realize. I have this much convincing in me, right? Like I have no sales in me. So that was, and I cringe at that. But attracting people, building that relationship because they know what they see, what they saw on the brand, and all the LinkedIn was congruent with what they saw, and all these things with the hounds. That's what made it easier, guys. And you just want it easy. Hey, I know what they do. I see a bit of their personality, their values. It shines through before they even meet you. And then when they meet you, it's just like turning up the light, right? It just gets brighter and brighter. So yeah, and not just the metrics of growth, but just the efficiency and the fun. If we're not having fun, if we're not being ourselves, it's too much, right? Like I don't want to do this. So this was really helpful on multiple levels because people were clear, and then they were delighted, and so there's nothing wrong with people. We just don't know what we don't know, and that was me. I just didn't know how to. Once I was taught how to, dadgummit, I did it because that would be goofy. So it does make it a lot easier. It really does, and I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, it does. And I'll tell you, we don't even realize the business we're losing if our brand isn't dialed in on the front end. A brand's number one job is to precede you. And so if your brand isn't showing up differently on the front end, you don't even know how many opportunities to have a discussion that you are missing, because people do meet your brand long before they meet you. Okay. So Mike, this one's yours to share, but I think this is a great example of how that works.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's proof that it does work if we work consistently. And so I think of it this way. There's bug zapping and there's dog catching, right? If you chase stuff, it doesn't want to be caught. What's it do? It runs away faster, right? I mean, but a bug zapper, you can plug it in the country at night all day, man. Stuff flying to it all night. It doesn't move a muscle, right? So that's what I'm talking about. I got a message that says, hey, I'm doing fantastic for a Friday. Speaks very highly of you. So, so-and-so would love to jump on a call and get to know you better. No agenda, just curious about, cool humans. Happy to shoot you my calendar link and send you yours if that's easier. Because we're attracting people, the right people. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to cover a little bit of this. But the point is that it works. If you know who you are, right, and you put that out there, you're clear about your message. More importantly, the folks you want to work with and your ideal clients are clear, then it makes the door so much easier to open, and they'll open it for you. I was blown away. I didn't have to say anything to anybody about what I did. I just had to be clear, bring great value, and make friends first, seriously, because I wanted to. And this is the result of what happened. So over here on the post, it was like, hey, these people know what I do. They trust me. We have a relationship. I believe in them. And this person made that comment. Again, it can happen for anybody. I'm not special. The laws and principles of business and gravity work for everyone. So don't feel like you're broken. You just don't know any better. So, hey, the post about my daughter breaking the snow globe, and then she wanted to buy it for mommy and she used her own money. I mean, she's 4 years old. And then someone, a good dear friend of mine, said, "Hey, Daddy taught her well, and you know, adorable by the way, and you are the redneck financial coach, so I know she got a handle on her money." These kind of things are organic. You couldn't pay somebody to say this kind of stuff.
Uh,
But this is what happens when you're doing and sharing your crayons. People like to share them back, and good people, guys, tell me in the comments if you agree with this. Good people can't help but to reciprocate. They really can't. I can't. If somebody does something good for me out of their own day and their busy life, I'm always looking for a way to repay that. And that's that healthiness. That's that reciprocity we're talking about, right? Does that make sense? I don't want to get on a soapbox, but dadgum, this is fun stuff. This doesn't have to be judgery. I don't want to get on here every day and be grumpy. This kind of stuff makes you perk up. This is affirmation that, hey, nothing wrong with me. I just didn't know how to show people who I was, right? So anyway, you better move on because I don't stop. Keep going.
I just push you all. See, I have control over here. We have the click of the button, and I can just forward to the next slide. Say, Mike, you cut off now.
You got to. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Good job.
We've had so many great conversations. Like we work so well together. But this one's all you, Mike. You know, support and seed. And really, this is what you do so well. And one of the things we love so much about you, and honestly, why we started working with you. So I'm going to let you take this over here.
Yeah. And again, it's real simple. If folks don't know, I mean, I call it, I jokingly, but truthfully talk about it as redneck Camelot, right? It was just an idea. I said, I just didn't fit in. I mean, I'll go to this group or that group or, and I just never really felt like I fit in. And that was the calling card, right? I didn't like a lot of the approaches out there. And there's a lot of us like that, right? We just want to have our guard down. We want to be around folks that can push us up and make us better. And we can help, iron sharpens iron kind of thing. And so that's what happened when I went out there and became an impromptu dating coach, and anything I could do to share my own experience to help others not suffer longer and just build authentic friendships and relationships. I just started sticking them in a group. And that group was a bunch of diverse professionals. And so this is how all of this came about. And it happened by planting the seeds, right? And think about it this way. And I want you to practice this when you get on there. This is practical stuff I want you guys to test. Think of it this way. When you comment or DM or tag somebody in the comments for someone that you're trying to bring value to, where you're sharing your crayons, you're making the first attempt, right? Think about, you know, what am I going to get out of this? Right? You're going to make somebody feel good, right? And that's the point. Like, so when I go out there and do those things, it's like playing a game of ping pong. I hit the ball to Tanya. I saw them before. I'll tell you all later how I met them. It's funny, but I hit the ball. I did something nice for them, and they hit the ball back. That's where the hounds came from.
Mm-hmm.
Some people didn't hit the ball back, so I had to wait next month. But eventually, people would hit the ball back, and then you hit it back. So you tag again, and they hit it back, and then so you're always doing this reciprocity principle. You're filtering, you're sorting, but you're never pushing. You're just setting the stage for reciprocity. If they don't reciprocate, we'll come back later and try again because maybe it's the wrong time. So we're never fighting upstream. Does that make sense, everybody?
Oh yeah.
We're always just learning and doing things that will I can't make a plant grow. Screaming at a plant and a seed does not make it grow. What happens is that I can give the environment around that plant. I can give it the right water, temperature, all that stuff. And that's what we're trying to explain, right? Don't beat yourself up, all right? But just when you learn the rules and the principles, when you let yourself just experiment and just let your heart out first, it will get much better. And so let me share the example. I had a good buddy of mine introduced me to a great guy. He's in the realm of TED Talks, right? And this just happens. Again, I don't have to go out and DM. You don't either once you learn this stuff. He came to me. And why do you think he came to me? You know what happened. I gave him value first. I did something kind for them first. And I just waited and did my thing. So anyway, met a great guy. He introduced me. That conversation was so timely. I loved that conversation. It was so much fun. It was uplifting. And then that guy came back and told the guy who referred me, holy cow, what an introduction. So what do you think the original guy is thinking? Hey, when I introduce somebody to Mike, that makes me look better, right? It's just a full circle of reciprocity. It's win, 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 and it keeps winning. And if you continue that cycle and you're intentional about your brand, your messaging, and what you're about, people will say yes to you at the time that's right for them, if it's right for them. It's a much different mindset. Does that make sense? Is that clear as mud?
Yes, it is. It's clear as a fresh mountain spring, Mike.
There we go.
There you go. I love that example, by the way. All right, let's move on to number 3, which is leverage your audience. So I want you to think about this. A lot of people will say, well, I don't want to be connected to somebody that I can't do business with, right? And I think, why not? Think of it like this. You're a rock star, okay? And as the rock star, let's assume you're on stage here. And in the audience, you have tons and tons of people who are sitting there ready to support you, ready to be your cheerleader, like Michael's a cheerleader today. And then you have the very special VIPs that will pay extra to get backstage to be part of the experience. And that's how you look at it. It's like, okay, I can find the VIPs here, and we'll talk about that next, but leveraging that audience, leverage the people who are willing to support you, even if they're not going to do business with you and you're not going to do business with them. See, we can support people that we don't necessarily need or want to do business with just because we may not need that service right now. But we can help them grow and they can help us grow regardless of that. I can't tell you the number of people who've come to us from people that know us, not even clients that we've had, right? The clients give us referrals, which makes sense. But even people we haven't worked with yet give us referrals because we've had conversations with them. Maybe we've given something to them. Stay tuned for that because that's coming up soon. But really, it's leveraging your audience to, and I love what Mike says. Mike, you take it from here.
Oh, I didn't think I was going to talk yet. See, look at that. So here's the outcome. Ask yourself this, guys, because again, this is about you. If you're going to make a life-changing decision, I mean, any decision, and this is what I ask myself, it's changed my life. Am I going to base that decision on a little bit of information or all the information I can possibly get? And so once you seek out wisdom and knowledge, here's what happened to me. Again, I didn't plan this at first. I had to reverse engineer how it happened. But if you woke up every single day, and here's the only 3 options: clients now, clients later, and people who send you both, how could you lose in the long game? Not get rich pie in the sky. That doesn't exist.
Right.
How can you lose if your intention and the way people, their only logical options is now, later, or referrals or advocates? Actually, it's not referrals. It's people go, man, that person's really changed my daggum life. I got to tell you, which makes you go, wow, no kidding. Because, there's so many not good things in the world. So it's really important to stand out. And so that's the only thing I wanted to capitalize, is that, just like you were saying, it doesn't, because people change, even if they're not your target now or your ideal client now, they could be later. You could change careers. Who knows? So never take good people. Always start at good-hearted people. And in today's world, it's as simple as just putting them on a list and loving on them for 5 nanoseconds once every week or 2, right? It's very simple stuff we're talking. So absolutely. That's my only 2 cents. Look at it from this way: is what I'm doing today going to do those 3 things? And that's what's important. That makes it uphill. That makes it.
Doesn't that make it fun too? I mean, really, truly, I like when you know that you can provide a resource, a connection to a resource for somebody. It is totally not related to what you could do for them. I mean, you're still being able to, in that network, literally a network, say, well, I don't solve that problem, but my man Mike does. Or I don't solve that problem, but my friend Tanya does, right? Doesn't that make it fun too? Like, it almost like a charge to do it. I would think, like getting over that first step and getting rolling on it. And then when, getting that network going, I think would be a lot of the fun of it.
It happens all the time. 2 people will meet about themselves, and somebody will go, man, I'm having trouble doing this. And they'll go, oh, you need to speak with X, Mike or somebody, right? And I'm like, hey, we're going to talk about business. And come to find out, we're talking about someone else or some other great group or people or something, right? And that's what you want to be, because who doesn't like a person, a man and woman, who's constantly trying to help you? I mean, it's impossible. But you have to have your business stuff together to really push that to foster that to the next level, right? So, just, it's not complicated. You're talking to a guy in a camel hat. I mean, anybody can do this. And that's what we're trying to help you with. I'm honored that people will spend their time here because I love this. I love giving people a push up.
You guys have all figured this out by now. Don't let the camo hat deceive you. There's a big brain under there, I swear. I know. He's some brilliant concepts we've learned from Mike. And I want to share this. I want to give a shout out because he's on here today. And listen, he just posted that. J. Scott Heathman, I put this screenshot on here because I just wanted to thank you. We posted this event that we're doing today, and in full disclosure, Scott is a client of ours, and we're about maybe halfway done with his brand. And he posted this very nice thing. These are some very important people in my life, and I'm forever grateful we found each other. They're giving me not only a leg up in my business, but making my 5'6" frame feel like 5'10" tall. I take time to drop in and learn from the dream team. And when he did that, this gentleman, Steve, said, "Hey, I like what you're saying pretty much. I like, maybe I should talk to these people," to which I responded, "Hey, I'm going to, let's connect and I'll DM you a calendar link and we'll get on the phone." Now we have a connection to get on, that will not only already knows what we're all about, but has been endorsed by a client of ours. And Scott, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah,
we love
sure.
you and we support you right back. So this is actually just evidence of how it continues and continues and continues to work.
And I want to add to that because I think J. Scott Heathman is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, y'all look him up. That man is the thing. He is the bomb. He is great. And to get an endorsement like that from a person of that caliber, thank you so much, sir.
And watch
We
for his book
appreciate it.
coming in 2024. So.
Yes.
It is. And real quick, and this is a testament because, again, you and I and the hounds and so diverse. And I think what it is that we blame a lot of folks watching this, will blame themselves. Like, well, I'm setting meetings and people don't want to talk to me or they're not responding. It's the wrong people. And again, a good brand will attract and repel. That it will help you do that. Knowing where you spend your energy every day on LinkedIn or social will help you do that. So you won't have all of that negative self-talk thinking that something's wrong with you. You just don't know what you don't know. And that was what my struggle for 2 years was. And that's what it's about. Why would I want to struggle for 2 years and watch Tanya do it or Stephanie do it, right? I want them to do it in 2 months if possible, right? That's the key here. This is why we're here today. Nothing's wrong with you. Just follow these 5 principles, and you will see it. You'll see it. Go, wow, and feel good about yourself. Because it's hard not to feel good when you have people like this playing ping pong of kindness and getting stuff done and doing business. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So very true. All right. Moving on to
Perfect
number 4.
segue.
Absolutely perfect segue. Value your VIPs. Mike, take it away.
There you go. See, I don't get the button. And I shouldn't have the button. I can't even get the remote control button at my house. That's how bad. All right. So you guys know me. And if you don't, well, you're getting it. All right. So value your VIPs. What does that mean? Again, it doesn't mean that some people are better than others. None of that. We just have to find a way to define where you spend your energy, right? So as we're cultivating new, and we have to be at different stages. I don't see any difference between dog parks, business, and dating, right? And if you hang on long enough, you won't either. So think back. So, very few people in a relationship. Some people will get married in Vegas in a 2 days or whatever, right? But most of us have to play the long game, right? You have to be nice, buy flowers, have chats, go on dates. And that's what I kind of want you to frame this in. So as you're starting the first dates with people, so to speak, and you're getting to know them, right? You'll have other people who you have got to know. They want to go to the next level and nurture those relationships. And so it's just like Tanya was saying about, the fans and the audience. What we want to do is create, there's fans and then there's people in the audience and there's fans, right? People,
like super fans.
Super fans. So there's people who paid for the general concert, but then there's that other smaller group of people who paid extra or whatever, or they really want to go and meet you and get an autograph and go to that next level. And everybody in business in general will experience this. And so that's what you want to do is the love on them. So what we do and what I teach is just have a love list, an idea, maybe 30, depending on your business. I mean, but 30 is a good number. And as you encounter people, put them on the list. And that's it. And that will help you dictate how you love on them and be intentional, not forget, right? And that's really, I mean, it's simple. It's not always easy. Knowing how to is not the easiest thing, but it's simple progress. If you just intentionally put people on a list and don't forget about them and bring them value and do all the things we're talking about in the right way, good things will happen. So, and you're not the one creating it. All you're doing is creating the conditions, the ecosystem for anybody to decide on their own where they're at in that stage. And you're fostering the growth. You don't control the growth. You don't control the outcomes of anything. Think about it. But and it's enough. All you need to do is to create the ecosystem. So when you do the right things, you're teaching people, hey, that felt good. I'll do it back. And then you're just cultivating. So that's why the love list is important, because you want to keep up with folks and you want to be actively involved with them. And it doesn't take a lot of time if you do this well. It sounds like it's horribly time consuming. You can do this in 5 minutes a day, 15 minutes a week sometimes. It doesn't have to, but it's very important, because this is not hunting. This is farming. This is the long game.
Yeah.
I don't want to just go out and shoot a buffalo. I want a plant that will continue to harvest year after year. And that's the principle. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
It does. It does. And Michael and I are going to tell you a story about this lady here. Here's an example of actually valuing your VIPs. I cannot say enough about this woman, A.K. Moss. Her name's Kathy Moss. She is a world-renowned cowboy poet. And when she came to us, she was just frustrated because she felt like, I'm not commanding what I'm worth in the space. I know that I present really well. I know I'm a great entertainer. She's performed for people like Travel Portland and Travel Oregon and lots of different historical places.
She was named Female Poet of the Year, only person to ever be named Female Poet of the Year in Canada and in the United States in the same year.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's
incredible. So, but what she will tell you, and she has done so in a video testimonial for us, she's so kind, is that she didn't have the self-worth when she first started. She knew she was great at what she did. She did not feel confident enough to present herself that way. And so it is the long game. It is working with her and to build that brand where she sees that she's worth it. She feels now that she's worth it. And as a result, I'll shoot straight to the end. She, 3 weeks into the branding process, pitched herself to speak for a large organization and ended up charging 300% more and getting it than she had ever been able to charge in the past. Mike was in that group with her and saw this whole thing come to light and how joyous she was about that whole thing. But it didn't just stop there.
No. Like the next 3 gigs, she was able to charge that and had never been able to charge it before. So
yeah. And it matters to people. It really matters to people. Like D. Grant talks a lot about this, right? And it matters to people how you show up. And if you show up very genuine to them, it's like, Kathy, I can see where you are and you're at a far greater place than your eyes can see. So let's build that together. Let's get you to see where you deserve to be. And that made all the difference in the world. And that gets you this kind of post on LinkedIn, guys. So that's what we're talking about when we say value your VIPs.
That's right. And you got to remember, it's hard to read the label when you're inside the jar. And
so true.
That's the other thing about this network that makes it so great, because other trustworthy people can show you what you really look like and help elevate you, because we all just need permission to elevate ourselves, right? That's pretty much what we need. Yes. We're giving y'all permission, by the way, blanket permission.
Okay, so hard to see the label when you're inside the jar. Y'all know I'm still in all this, right? Wow. And by the way, this is what I forgot. This is important. I couldn't even remember where I met you two. I saw you two. I think maybe Russ or somebody had you on their show or something. And I just happened to be on LinkedIn. I was like, wow, these two are like me. Like, they also must be doing their podcast from a deer standing at Etch-a-Sketch or something, right? Listen to cousins. Yeah, and so we talked. They reached out. I did things, that I did things to say, hey, here's the ping pong game. They responded, hit the ball back, and that game got quick, right? And that's so the love list helps me determine who is ready today and who I still need to foster and what tone to take with us. But it was clear that you were married in Vegas type of people, right? So we need to be tracking that, and because everybody else is wanting to hold hands for 2 years, right? And that's the point. This is all about attracting and fostering and nurturing and letting people be. It doesn't matter. We can do us and make sure that our spotlight is seen. We're not trying to hit people with the spotlight. We're not trying to bash them over the head and make them look. We're just saying, hey, here's what I have, right? If somebody needs a haircut, I want them to know my hair salon is here. That's it. That's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't overcomplicate it. All right. You'll lose hair like I did. Don't do that. Be simple. Have fun. It's a blast. Start having more fun, and that will immediately turn your stuff around right now. I guarantee you.
Sure will. All right, we're coming to the final one, number 5. This is actually my favorite one because in order to get people offline, you have to offer them something that will help them get to that next level. So I love to give something, right? And if you give something, if you can, the big secret to LinkedIn is you've got to take them from online to offline to make online really work for you, okay? Because as Mike said, these are real people behind the screens. They're real people looking for real solutions and looking for real relationships and real connections. And so give to get one-to-one. And here's what I'm going to share this and then I'll hand it over to Mike because Mike has a fantastic example too. So one of the things that we started doing intermittently is once in a while, if I connect with somebody that I really feel like could use our help or might be a great conversation to have, I'll say, hey, why don't we do an ideal customer profile session? I'll give you 30 minutes of my time, absolutely free. If there's something that I can do to help you, that's great. If I can't help you, I'm sure I know somebody who can. But let's at least hone in on that. Now, most of the time, that's when I've gone back and forth a couple of messages and they've said, well, I really don't, I thought I knew who I was talking to, but I don't. And so a lot of things kind of dig for those pain points, right? And dig for some of those things when you're having these conversations. But when I offer that to them, that 30-minute session, I just started this maybe a week or a week and a half ago, and I've offered it to 3 or 4 people. Well, one new client came from it last week. And why was that? That's because I took the time with that person to get to know what the problem was, to get to help them understand, well, you should go in this direction. And as a matter of fact, I have this cool story to tell you guys real quick because literally this email just came across today. And it's from Michelle and I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's Laaks. You know her, Mike.
Yeah, I can't pronounce my name.
Please forgive me, Michelle, if you're listening back to this later. But Michelle and I had this ideal customer profile session. I offered it to her free, and she came and talked with me about it for 30 minutes. And she sent me an email back today, and she said, Tanya, you set me on a path that for now, for the first time, pretty much, I'm paraphrasing here, for the first time, I know exactly where I'm headed. She's an artist, and she puts out her art to really help people heal. It's art with a heart, I believe, is one of her phrases. And we talked about the fact that she was an adoptee, and she felt that was really important and wanted to help people understand, their adoption, she really connected with other people who have been adopted or who had adopted children. And so, during that conversation, I said, why don't you just do art for people who have experienced what you have in the adoption world? And it just dawned on her, wow, well, maybe I should do that. And then she went to write part of an anthology, which was part of her story and a project that she's involved in. And in doing so, she realized, wow, this is so spot on. This is the area I need to be in. And to you and I, it might sound like, wow, that's super narrow. Do you know how many adoptions there are in the U.S. every year? Do you have any idea what an impact that has on somebody's life? It's tremendous. And now how different she will show up because of that. Now, did she become my client? No, she didn't. she became my fan. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's going to tell other people about me. And that's okay if I didn't walk away with something of monetary value. What I walked away with was very precious. And that was something that she felt really, really good about and can help her in that direction. So when you think about giving to get one-to-one, give. Sometimes it works out beautifully. Sometimes it works out better.
You can tell when I jump up and down, like I'm losing. Look, because listen, everybody, if you're here, they expect people like, they expect us to say we're great. They do not expect other people to run around and advocate. And that is only done, either you pay them $1 million, okay, or if you're like me and don't want to do that or can't, you love on people and you're genuine. You're doing the things that matter the most for personal and business. And when that happens, great things will emerge. And so is it my turn to do this now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Again, these are recent. I mean, it's amazing. I've got people that refer me because guess what I do? I refer them because I believe in them. I mean, again, people typically do business with people that will consider doing it with them, and that is okay. There's nothing to be scared of. Everybody's here. Most people are here to do and grow because our business allows us to do more good in the world, right? So, hey, just met with blank, and he would like to look at doing some financial planning. Wanted to connect you to. I think you'd be a great fit. And it was. I actually just talked to the person. And so here's my thing. I love this happens because personally for me, it's the hounds, right? If people are a good fit for the hounds, I want to talk to them and see about that. Maybe they're not a good fit. Maybe they belong somewhere else. I would love to connect them with other great people. There's all kinds of great groups and things. Live stream. I got a live stream. I'm blessed. It's, lots of support. And I love great stories. So there's multiple arenas that I do. And there's all kinds of endless opportunities for people. And so absolutely, that's how you foster it. Because again, you're loving on everybody, but you spend more time with the people who are saying, yes, I want more time. Yes, I'm really curious about more. And it's about attraction and it's about fishing and farming. And this is what was painful. I'm the same guy I was fundamentally, but I just didn't know how to play the game. I was playing a football game with a swimming outfit, with a swim trunks and a daggum soccer ball. And I think that's 99% of people's frustration. So this is why we're doing this, is to just give you some guideposts, give you some opportunities and avenues. There's nothing wrong with you. Seek wisdom. And my last little rant here, because this is stuff I learned. I'm not a guru. I'm just some dude that screwed it up long enough. When I learned that amateurs do things forever by themselves, and that's what I did for most of my life, until I realized top level athletes, pros, business people, successful people, they always have top level coaches. That changed my life completely. And in fact, that's why I do my live stream. I get free advice from brilliant people, right? So, hey, I called it out. But that's what I mean. It's not just about doing business or getting sales. This is about a transformation that can continue and grow your daggum legacy. And I think most people here I have noticed and seen, and I see your comments, that's what really matters. Getting up in the morning, doing right, making things happen, and changing one life at a time. Am I wrong or am I just cheesy? I'll take either one. Okay, I'll take cheesy one. But that's why I do it. And that's what's important. All right. Why do you do what you do and go out there and shine it? That's what it's about, guys.
Well, you're not wrong. You should actually say, am I right and cool or right and cheesy? You'll take either one, right? Because you're right either way. You're right either way.
Cheesy. Valvita, baby.
And I want to say one more thing about this, about giving to get one-to-one. Take that conversation from the online world to the offline world and have it. Is Mike gets a kick out of this and he repeats it often, which I absolutely love. One day I told him, Mike, you don't give the whole cow. You just give a glass of milk. And if they like the milk, then they might want the cow, right?
It's a really big cow, though. I mean, that's the thing. I could give you gallons of milk, and you still won't. There's still plenty of cow, guys.
That's so true, and there's lots of milk to be given out. See, together. Yeah. So just wanted to share that with you guys. So to recap this. I put these 5, if you guys want to grab a screenshot here, show up differently. That's where personal branding makes a huge difference. 98% of people will see that before they see you. You want the opportunities. That's what you want. Support and seed, leverage your audience. Don't just think about the people that are going to buy from you. Think about the people who appreciate you and will introduce you to others who will buy from you. Because in the end, yeah, we are in it to do business and to grow our business. Along the way, we can have a lot of fun and do a lot of good.
Profit's not a bad word.
It is not a bad word
at all. There's nothing wrong with it.
Not a bad word. All right. And then value your VIPs. Take good care of your people and pay close attention to the people who are really propping you up, and give back. And then the give to get. Give from yourself. Give a little bit of your time. I want to say this, because we all live in a very, very busy world. It is very easy to get in over your head, and before you know it, you're in 25 meetings a week and you're not getting anything back out of it. Be careful of that, right? Because it's profitable personal branding that we do, and we got to keep an eye on that. So you can't meet with everybody and give of your time to everybody. That's where a little bit of the delineation comes in, where you say, okay, this is really my ideal customer. I'll take the time to meet with that ideal customer, and be smart about how you do it. Obviously, you guys know that. So, but we've all been in that trap before, where you have tons of meetings and nothing to show for it. We don't want you there. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the other things your brand is going to do for you, because it will actually call out who is the best fit for you. All right. So if you guys have any final questions, we'll be here for just another maybe 3-4 minutes. So if you have any final questions, shoot them here, pop them in here, and we'll try to get to them. But drum roll. Okay, I want to do something in the history of BrandFace. We've never done this, never. And I don't think Mike's ever done it either, right?
No, I hardly ever do these at all. I mean, this is why I was so excited, because I was like, yeah, I don't ever very rarely do I do master courses, but when something's life changing, I'm going to do it, right? Like this is something that changed my daggum life, and I want to share it. Absolutely, man.
Well,
I'm tired of people being stuck like I was. It's a hard place to be.
It is, and we've been there ourselves, and especially stuck on LinkedIn.
And I don't want your marketing to stink.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Put your goofy hat on.
Yeah. So for our Cyber Week special, you can actually get both of us for 25% off, right? So we'll help you dial in that profitable brand blueprint and help you with your ideal customers, your point of differentiation, the positioning, how you present yourself in your messaging, things like that. And then Mike will pick it up from there and say, okay, now that this brand is dialed in, here's how you utilize that and how you work things on LinkedIn to build this organic following, connections that lead to profit. So the offer ends Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And if anybody's interested in talking with either one of us, go to brandfacewebinar.com. And here's what it's actually going to look like on your screen. You'll have a choice, because I'm not going to force you into one box or another. You can either work with both of us, or there are 2 buttons on there. Like if you just want to talk about branding, click that button. If you just want to talk about LinkedIn coaching with Mike, click that one. If you want to take advantage of the both offer, click that one. If you do an only option, choose us, not Mike. I'm just kidding.
You think I was paying attention.
That.
Yeah, and don't tell Tanya or Michael. Yeah,
I love you, Mike.
Pick me first for basketball.
I did not give Michael a heads up.
I know what I took about.
Like,
did she just say that?
Did she really just say that? I'm just kidding. We learned so much from Mike, guys. Obviously, we recommend him to the ends of the earth. So it's just, we were having a little fun. But yeah, if you go there and you want to schedule some time to talk to us about this, we have different programs that are available, so we can kind of match you up, customize that to you guys. If you only need 2 or 3 things, we only work on 2 or 3. If you need the full thing, we work on the full thing. So whatever it is, we're going to work with you. And again, the Cyber Week special ends on Friday. So please, if you have any questions at all, if we can just help to have that conversation. We're not going to hard sell you, by the way. We will let you off the phone. So just letting you know, this is for you guys. And so before we depart, I just want to say how much I appreciate the time every one of you have taken to be here. You have a million other places that you could be. And I really, truly appreciate it. And Jody,
Oh, thank you, Jody.
rock.
Thank
You
you,
rock. Jody is just about to unleash her brand. And I got to say, Jody's been incredible to work with. Mike was working with her first and helping her with LinkedIn, and then said, hey, you know what? We could use some tightening up here just of the brand and make sure like we're communicating it as clearly as we could. So we stepped in with some clarity and helped clean, some of the clarity issues up. And Jody will be unleashing that brand in the coming days and weeks. And Jody, we love you and thank you so much for being so open to everything, because structured settlements is not always the easiest thing to explain. And now I feel really confident about putting it out there. And I know we all do. And Jody, you're an angel. Thank you so much. So anyway, guys, last, and I'll hand it to Michael here and then to Mike. Mike Asherbrenner, you're amazing. We love you so much. We were country cousins the first time we ever met. And we appreciate where you come from, because you're truly one of the most genuine people that we know. And that's why we're here today. So.
Well, I'll be brief. Look, I've learned so much from both of these people. Tanya, like I said, Tanya, I thought I needed marketing. Tanya taught me branding, and it transformed my marketing. Michael, I talked about giving permission to people to elevate themselves. And believe it or not, you have done that too, because you are a shining example of a person being themselves and offering a massive amount of value. And all of us can learn how to do that. I've learned a bunch of that from you. Michael's even spoke in front of my star producers at our Think conference this past September. Killed it, taught them so much value about how to find their clients and their ideal clients through LinkedIn and utilizing LinkedIn as real estate agents. So a lot of value right there. I just encourage everybody to reach out to both of them. They'll do you a great job, I promise. And if they don't, I'll make fun of them on open forums.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, one last thing before.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Mike, before I hand it to you, there's 2 email addresses on the screen. If you guys go there and don't find a spot on the calendar, email Clara for the brand face stuff, email Mike for the LinkedIn stuff, or include both those email addresses on one email and let us know, hey, I can't find a time that works, and we'll work with you. Okay, so that's it. Off to you, Mike, and you close us out.
Yeah, no, people have to eat lunch and stuff. So thank you. And thank you, Jody. Again, this is what happens when you create an environment of heart and be around like-minded winners and professionals. It's not easy, and but it always works because the heart's there. And so thank you guys for reaching out to me. Thanks for all the folks in the Hounds and future Hounds who were here today. I love doing this. I love the energy, and I love helping people. And I know you do, or you wouldn't still be here. This would make you want to run away, right? So we're attracting, repelling right now. But I wanted to give everybody the encouragement, man. There's nothing wrong with you. There absolutely is nothing wrong with you. At least it's not wrong with people in general, right? People are crazy, and I'm one of them. So I want you to relax, give yourself some grace, be curious, take this stuff on as an experiment, seek wisdom. My life changed when I said yes to knowing stuff. I did Pilates. Everybody thinks that's a joke. It's not a joke. I actually did, because a man explained to me what it really was. I thought I knew what Pilates was, and I didn't do it. Then I realized it was for elite athletes and help my back, right? So that's it. Always seek wisdom and reach out to me, because I'm not here just to do one thing. If I can make introductions and bring exciting people and stories to my live stream, anything, all right? Stop being stuck. Stop putting yourself down. All right. Be around, surrounded by great people. Seek wisdom. I'm here if you want somebody to talk to help guide you. These two are the real deal. Man, I just love good people. So I wish this on everybody. Love to be a resource and a guide and help. And I just appreciate the love and support and all the good stuff here. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, all Hounds and future Hounds. I feel like a poor kid waking up in Santa's workshop every single day, dadgummit. That's what I should have said 10 minutes ago. My bad. But I get excited. It's hard not to be excited. So much goodness. So thank you, all of y'all, for this opportunity. I'm going to go have to take some, find a way to calm down now. I'm ready to go. Let's do another one. Let's just do another hour.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Anytime.
Right.
Anytime.
Round 2.
Thanks, guys. Everybody have a wonderful holiday season too.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.